baby wearing. When I was pregnant with my first child, I got one of those lists that every new mom gets of baby registry must-haves. Things like washcloths, diapers, wipes, baby monitor, pacifiers, bottles. Well, a baby carrier was on there. So what I did was I went to the store, the big box baby store, and I saw all of the carriers that they had on display. They were at least $100. And I thought there's got to be a better way to have this registry must-have. Apparently something that I needed, just like I needed bottles and clothes and wipes. And so what I did was I went on a discount website and found an Ergo carrier. Well, little did I know what this would trigger. When I had my first child, I started baby wearing him in the Moby and in the Ergo. And I absolutely fell in love. Looking back on some of those pictures of me wearing him as a little baby, honestly, it scares me a little bit. I had so much to learn, I didn't even know it. I wore him everywhere, to the store, in church, at football games, at baseball games. I wore him everywhere, and I loved every second of it. Feeling his little head right here, falling asleep, getting that baby breath on your chest, you know what I'm talking about. And then when I became pregnant with my second son, my first son was getting a little bit big to wear on my front, so I wanted to figure out how to back carry him. That's when I found the Indianapolis Baby Wearers, and it had just become Baby Wearing International of Central Indiana. So I went to my very first meeting and I wanted to learn how to carry him on my back when pregnant. I did that, and when I went, I met all these amazing people, saw all these different kinds of carriers in an actual lending library. And I thought, okay, I'm good to go with my Ergo. I don't need any others. I'm good to go. Well, baby number 2 came along, and again, I wore him in the Ergo, I wore him in the Moby, and this time I learned how to do it a little bit more safely than the first time. Partly because I started attending Baby Wearing International of Central Indiana meetings regularly. And at this time I decided I would go ahead and take the plunge and become a member so that I could borrow carriers from our lending library. Well, I can definitely say to this day that I never would have been able to experience all of the different carriers that baby wearing has to offer: wraps, ring slings, stretchy wrap, soft structured carriers, everything. I had no idea all this was out there until I started borrowing from the lending library. And at least $100, sometimes $150, $200, $250 a carrier, I was able to check those out from the library, try before I buy, so I didn't have to worry about spending money on carriers that I didn't like or that I wouldn't like. And of course, every person is different, every baby is different, everyone has different needs. And I was so glad that I got to experience all the different types of carriers from our lending library so that I could figure out what would work best for me and my kids. But I'm not the only one. Here's some words, some other members of the Baby Wearing International of Central Indiana chapter. Eileen says, I just joined, but the lending library means that I don't have to give up wearing my 2.5-year-old who has outgrown my Ergo and risk spending hundreds of dollars buying a carrier I might hate for her. And Christina says, we were gifted a Moby wrap and a Maytai, but we're having issues with being comfortable. When I attended my first meeting, I learned about all the different types of carriers and checked out a Lillababy, hoping we would like it. The lending library has made my baby wearing experience amazing and helped aid my decision on what kind of carrier to purchase. Sarah says, we didn't have any sleep issues or anything, but the lending library kept me coming back to baby wearing meetings, which helped me meet some really incredible people. And Tiffany says, when I knew it was time to move on from our stretchy wrap as my daughter grew bigger, our very small budget made that difficult. I'm so thankful that I found Baby Wearing International as a resource, and that for a fraction of the cost of buying a new wrap, I was able to try out a new carrier every month and get to know some great people at the same time. Because of the Baby Wearing International Lending Library, I got to experience so much more of what the baby wearing world has to offer. Now, those are just a few stories. I'm sure all of us could learn a little bit from attending baby wearing international meetings and trying a few carriers from the lending library. Who knows how many moms we can help. Thank you, Baby Wearing International, for helping so many moms and dads learn how to hold their babies close and enjoy these years as they are very short.